Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel here today to spread a bit of good news. It's not the end of the world, guys. I know it feels like it recently has been feeling like it's the end of the world, but I promise to you it's not the end of the world. There's some good news to spread around off the pitch at the moment for sure. It's not on the pitch, but it's off the pitch. The renewals, everything that's going on. I'm going to quickly cover that. I'm not staying on for long today. Promise it won't be more or too longer than half an hour. And yes, Balkan Warrior quickly noticing the Lula shirt, the Lukaku Lautaro shirt, repping today. Is one of the t-shirts I designed last summer, just like a little fun side project I had. I sold a few of them as well, and it was nice. And like I just love the material. I like the design. It's nice, clean, minimalistic, and one of my favorite ever partnerships, striker partnerships. And I'm glad actually I made this because I feel like this duo needs to be remembered, especially now that both of them are struggling without each other. They both need each other. Lukaku in the Prem and Lautaro here at Inter. But when I posted, if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I posted it as a joke. I'm not saying bring Lula back, like it was just a little bit of a joke because I wore this t-shirt today. I've still got the Lukaku one. I made a Lukaku one, the King of Milan one. I still wear that as well. As I said, like I made sure to use some good quality cotton and it's good material, so that's why I still wear these shirts. Just a bit of fun, guys. Julian, yes, some good news. Thank you for tuning in quickly. It's a bit of an impromptu stream. I apologize for not giving you guys much of a heads up for this, but I'm literally going to be on. I promise. I know I always say this, but it's because of you guys that I usually stay on longer. But I'm going to play actual like five-a-side football after this. So if I am late, then the team is going to have one less player, and if I don't turn up, it's like playing like one player down, like Inter with Danovic. Nah, all jokes aside. Of course, the most important renewal is Don Beppe Marotta, and we don't need to talk about this one. Like this guy. I mean, you guys, I'm sure if you haven't and you've been living under a rock, I made a video about what Beppe Marotta's work has been at Inter since he's come in. The 3-4 years he's been here now. So make sure you go check that video out. I made that video in the summer after everything popped off. And actually it's pretty much confirmed that he confirmed himself like a few months ago that him, Ausilio, the whole like leadership was renewing their contracts because there was not much to discuss there. But it just got made official the other day. Inter released an official statement. FC Internazionale Milano is delighted to announce that CEO of Sport Giuseppe Marotta, but also Chief Sport Officer Piero Ausilio, Deputy Chief Sport Officer Dario Baccin have extended their contracts with the Italian champions for another 3 years. They will work under President Steven Zang at least until 30th of June 2025. And it's an amazing news because with all the stuff going on off the pitch, let's not forget, the Suning doubts and issues are still ongoing, guys. I know things that have been going well on the pitch up until the last couple of weeks, but it's made us forget the stuff that's going off the pitch. But the fact that Marotta, Ausilio, Baccin, by the way, is Ausilio's right-hand man. He's not spoken about as much. I'll put him in the thumbnail if you guys don't know what he looks like. Looks like a very suave, classy guy. But yeah, he's the guy who assists Ausilio with the scouting of players and choices of players. But it's really good news that the three of them, and I believe also the Antonello, the guy who looks after the the commercial and the financial side of things for Inter, he's not been mentioned there as having renewed. But I'm pretty sure his one was also pretty much confirmed. So that just means that these guys have faith in the future of Inter, especially Marotta. As I said, like Marotta has been around for donkey's years now. He's worked at a lot of big teams. He worked at Sampdoria before Juventus, and of course he led Juventus back to their glory years. And now at Inter, the best CEO in my opinion in the game. So he knows what he's talking about. He knows, he can see the financials behind the scenes. He speaks with Steven Zang. So he feels confident enough to extend his contract, which he has said that this is probably going to be his last job. He's already alluded to the fact that he wants to retire soon because he is, on the older side. These guys earn good amount of money. Like a lot of these, I think his salary is around 1 million or something like that, Beppe Marotta. So, these guys are good earners, but he wants to, call it a day at some point soon. So the fact that he's willing to continue, and it's a stressful job, everyone knows if things weren't going well, who are every single Inter fan gonna aim their frustration to? It's gonna be him, Inzaghi. These high level responsibility positions have high stress levels as well. But the fact that, as I said, he's looking to retire at some point, but the fact that he's extended means that, to me, it gives me confidence as a fan that even with Suning there, he feels confident enough to continue this project. However, as we know, guys, as long as Suning are there, and I don't want to start going on to negatives and speaking about the positive, but as long as Suning stay here at the moment with their current financial situation, the amount of money available to Ausilio, Marotta, Baccin is going to be very, very limited, or decided by actually how much we're actually able to sell in terms of outgoings. Are going to have to be matched by the incomings. But it's good news regardless. 3 more years, it gives me so much peace of mind. It helps me sleep nicely at night knowing that Don Beppe is overseeing everything at my club. That is beautiful news. And Piero Ausilio as well. He's an opinion splitting director. Piero, he's been working at Inter for a long time. Even before he was sporting director at Inter, he was assistant for Marco Branca, who was the sporting director during the Mourinho years, the Moratti era. Even before that, I think he worked in the youth sector. Like, he's been at Inter for a long, long time. I think over pretty much his working career, I believe. Like, he was a secretary. I think he just worked his way up slowly the ranks at Inter. So fair play to him. And of course, the funny thing with Ausilio, I always find, is when it's a bad choice or a bad player, a player that hasn't worked out, it's Ausilio's fault. But when it's like a good player, and it's Marotta's fault. But the naming of the roles, it says right there, Piero Ausilio is the chief sports officer, whereas but Marotta is the CEO of the sporting side. At the end of the day, Ausilio is the guy that brings forth the players and chooses the players. I can tell you guys, Marotta isn't watching Ajax on a Monday night, looking at players and stuff like that. That is Baccin and Ausilio, Samaden, who looks after the youth team. There's the scouts around the world. That's their job. But the final decision stands with Marotta, and of course they'll consult with Inzaghi, Zanetti, and all the other high-level decision. But I can guarantee you, Marotta's not sitting around scouting Julian Alvarez at River Plate. Actually, Baccin is the guy that apparently he's the one who flies out to directly scout players. Apparently, he went to watch Julian Alvarez, who obviously we weren't able to sign in the end. But having these guys that have been working at Inter for a while, have a good connection, I think it's a good thing that these guys are staying on. And Ausilio over the years has also made some really, really good signings as well. It probably is worth making a video on Ausilio at some point as well, like I made on Beppe Marotta, just looking at his whole body of work, really, Piero Ausilio, because as I said, he's kind of a opinion splitting player. Mohammed, what's up? He said, which position do I play in 5-a-side? I don't really. He has 5-a-side. You play everywhere. He's just up and down. I like sitting back and kind of passing around, but I also like to get forward and try to finish. So yeah, it's 5-a-side. The pitch isn't that big. You just run up and down. Although I haven't played for a little bit because of my car has not been working recently, so I haven't been able to play that much. So I'm going to be very unfit today. I'm going to be Cassano vibes. Is there any Lukaku news? Jeez, I'm so somewhere that he maybe comes back on a loan. We'll see, guys. We'll see. There's nothing at the moment, but we'll have a look in the summer. I think it's going to be, regardless of what happens or what Inter can do, he's going to be linked, and I think they'll try, but it will need a massive favor from Chelsea if that happens, because Lukaku's salary is gigantic. So either either somehow Inter managed to afford his whole salary, or Chelsea need to contribute to his salary for a loan. And do we have to pay for that loan? Is a very expensive deal potentially. So we need Chelsea to do us a massive, massive favor. There's no doubt that Lukaku wants to come back, and I don't think there's any doubt that Inter would take him back as well if the conditions were right, financially speaking. But let's see what happens with that. Hey Mansoor, thank you very much. Channel member. I didn't actually notice. Are you a new channel member, or maybe I just didn't notice that you were in the past? But thank you for the support of the channel. First time I'm watching you live, but I follow you regularly. Well done. Love your level-headedness. Yeah, I try. Thank you, Mansoor. I try to be level-headed, but of course, I also can be, just like everyone else, have my moments of being reactionary and being, hot-headed in some moment, like I was the other day when we lost to Sassuolo. But yesterday, the Napoli drawing away to Cagliari put me back in a good mood. Those guys literally saved our sorry ass from that embarrassing performance against Sassuolo, because they put in just as an embarrassing performance. Actually, their performance was probably worse than Inter's, but the fact is they managed to get a goal. Osimhen came off the bench and managed to get a goal out of nothing with a beautiful header, whereas us having 20, 25 shots on goal, we couldn't even get one goal. And that was just that was the difference, as I said. But it is what it is. It means that we are right back there at the top. I mean, second in the table technically still, but we still have that game in hand against Bologna. So as you can see, I'm in a much better mood today. After the last couple of days, or this whole month really has not been good for us Interisti, has it? But I am feeling a little bit more optimistic today after these positive news I'm seeing. Tom GD in the house says, why isn't Brozo official? Okay, let me pull up. So today I read that Gazzetta is saying that they're going to make it official tomorrow. But to be fair now, guys, I know we've been like, I've been saying this always, like, when are they going to make it official? They keep saying soon, soon, soon. But Marotta said it, when Marotta's now said it, that he will sign an extension this week at some point. So I think that just says that it's a done deal now, because he said that he is signing. They're just ironing out a few details. And I've said in the past, it was the same. If you remember, the Lautaro contract was like dragged on for a couple of months as well. This has definitely been worse than the Lautaro one. But bonuses, player image rights, like all of these, like very minute, but they are, there's a lot of these things. I don't know why we're not Irish. These things to iron out in modern contracts. All these very small details, but I'm sure they're very important to the players, because every little detail could mean 1,000, 10,000, million more to their back pocket, or for Inter in their back pocket. So it depends. But Inter have been talks with his representative for the past few months. However, the club have been preparing to complete the deal of the extension during the past days, and now tomorrow looks to be the day for the midfielder to commit his future. Brozovic's current deal, as we know, expires in June. And given his importance, which we saw the other day against Sassuolo, to the team on the pitch, securing his future has been a major priority, and the club will be pleased to get it out of the way finally. And yeah, it seems like it will be what he wanted, basically. So 6 million plus 1 million in bonus. He wanted 7 million, so they're giving him what he wants, like, in a roundabout way. He's happy, and I've said it since the beginning. This guy does not want to leave. If you have your dad as your agent, that means you don't want to leave, because otherwise he would have gone to the big boys. He could have got Raiola, Jorge Mendes, these guys, the big boys in football, agents, to get him the offers that he wants. But the fact that he has his dad, it means that he just wants to get it renewed, but obviously at his on his terms. And I'm sure after the Sassuolo match, his dad walked into the Inter offices like with the sunglasses on, dropped his balls on the table, like, yeah, you're gonna give us the 7 million now, aren't you? And yeah, Beppe was like, yeah, we're gonna give you what you want. When will Brozo finally be official? Yeah, so as I said, Mattia, hopefully, fingers crossed, is going to be by tomorrow. Hopefully before the Genoa match. Surely has to be done before the Genoa match. Has to be. But as I said, the fact that Beppe Marotta has said that everything is agreed now, that helps me sleep at night. Robbie, yeah, I'll get to the Suning bid rejection in a minute. He says, my God, Branca sucked ass. Yeah, he was Yeah, I mean, he did what he needed to do for the triplete, but yeah, overall, he wasn't great, and that's why I don't think he's worked in football after that, has he? LBJ23 saying, telling the Lukaku fanboys, he's not coming back. We'll see, we'll see. I don't think he will, but I'm just saying that I'm sure there will be strong links this summer. That's all I'm saying. Hey man, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, I'm a bit rusty, It's like I'm gonna be like Gosens. I'm gonna be like Gosens after 6 months out or whatever, or Tuku Correa now after in a couple of weeks when he comes back. I'm just gonna be a bit rusty, but good to see you in the house, Tommy. Eduardo says I hope I'm right, but it won't happen. What we need is that Toro grows and truly becomes the striker we paid for. Oh man, it's yeah, I mean, Lautaro is, I don't know, maybe it's into fans that maybe from a older generation can tell me, but has there ever been a player that's generated this much discussion like Lautaro has over the last couple of weeks? I really don't remember being an Inter fan. Like, I know Icardi did in terms of what his off-field drama and all that kind of stuff, like Nainggolan did in terms of his, again, off-field stuff and all that kind of stuff. But Lautaro, for like on the pitch, I don't remember a player generating this much debate, arguments within the fan base, splitting the fan base. There's the pro Lautaro guys, there's the completely anti Lautaro, sell him right now. And then there's people like me who, I like Lautaro and it hurts me to see him performing like this. And, but at the same time, I'm also, resigned that maybe selling him might be the right option in the summer as well if the right offer comes along. But at the end of the day, Lautaro is here. He's here until the end of the season, and as we know, Lautaro cares about this team, man. Like, you can't deny that he cares about this team a lot. Like, the guy, I don't know if you guys saw, he again, like he did, after or in the Napoli match, he apologized to the Curva or the Inter fans after the Sassuolo match. He recognizes when he's not performing, and you gotta rate him for that. You have to rate him for that. And I know he needs to start proving it on the pitch now. Like, we're sick. This is when he apologized after he scored against Napoli for his performance in the derby. But I love the fact that he's able to recognize his mistake, his downfalls, his shortcomings, which means that mentally he is mature enough to recognize where or if he is going wrong. But we need to see that being addressed on the pitch. We need to see him. Is he, I want to see that being addressed in the training. I want to see that addressed in the next upcoming matches. And now he's got the best chances in the next matches. Genoa and Salernitana. I mean, two of the worst teams in the league, two of the worst defenses in the league. It's the perfect opportunity for the guy to, get back and scoring. We know he's a super streaky guy, and now he's on a super negative streak. So you just, whoever you are, even if you hate Lautaro at the moment, even if you want him out of the team, all I can ask of you is to now support him. And Arion, yeah, I saw the message of the Curva Nord, the ultras. Usually, I call him, caveman sometimes, and of course, a lot of their views are very extreme at some points, and I definitely don't agree with them. But I really like their message of support. They said, we will be with the team right up until the end. We have faith in the team. We know that you're going through a difficult moment, but we're not leaving you alone, and that's exactly what we should be doing as Inter fans, for sure. Hi Shama, finally in a good mood. Yeah, I hope you are in a good mood as well. By the way, of the teams in the top 10, just Fiorentina managed to get a win this week. Yeah, exactly, Arion, great point. If you looked every single, that's what we were talking about. No one seems to want to win this bloody Scudetto. Like, Milan was like, I'm trying to be like you to Inter now, and then Inter like, nah, I'm trying to be like you, bro. And then Napoli come in and just, like, nah, I'm trying to be like you, my G. It's just no one's serious. Juventus didn't win. Like, it's just absolute. This past weekend, we were lucky. We're honestly lucky that no one is serious in this league over the last couple of weeks, because someone really could have, created a nice little opening for themselves in this. Like, Napoli really could have yesterday. taking the lead and taking the stranglehold of the Scudetto race, but they haven't. So it's good news for us for sure. Give your thoughts on Lauti to Barca, even they didn't get Haaland. Yeah, we know that was again confirmed today. I saw an article from the ex Barcelona sporting director who said, yeah, like we were trying to get Lautaro, and the negotiations were advanced, but things just didn't quite work out. And I think he would work out in a team like we see for Argentina. He thrives, even though and that's the thing with Lautaro as well. Speaking of that, actually, like Hernan Crespo came out and spoke about Lautaro today, and I'll go through his comments in a minute. But people are split on whether he's a prima punta, was like and the main striker on his own, or he's a seconda punta, a second striker. And Spalletti at the beginning used to say he is a prima punta. That's why he said he didn't used to want to play Lautaro and Icardi together, because he felt like they were too similar. Then Conte came in and he clearly saw Lautaro as a second striker. But then when he goes for Argentina, he plays up front on his own, as I said, in the 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, as the sole number 9. So that's the thing as well. We haven't quite nailed down exactly who he is as a player. And I don't know if Lautaro has as well either. And then today, Hernan Crespo came out and said that if you're criticizing Lautaro, you don't know football. I mean, that's a pretty strong statement from Crespo, who is one I really liked Crespo when he was at Inter, Chelsea, Parma. This guy, one of the best of the past few decades. And he's gone. He said once Lautaro breaks his goal drought, then 7-8 goals will come. We know he's a streaky guy. He did this at the beginning of this season as well, and then he went on a streak of scoring goals. He does this every season, and it usually is between that November, December period, or like a December, January period. Like that is usually the dip that he usually has. And he says, in the career of a striker, there are always more or less prolific periods. There are times when you barely touch the ball, but then score a worldie. And then there are times when you can shoot 10 times and it won't go in. On the possibility that Martinez is no longer at his best, he suggested, let's ask ourselves, rather, if Inter are still the same Inter, a striker, much more than other players, depends on the moves of the entire team, on the movement of his teammates, on their service. With this Inter, are we sure that they're playing as they were in the first half of the season? If you lost against Milan, if you drew in Naples, if you lost against Liverpool, Sassuolo, it's not just Lautaro's fault, right? He continues, he just needs a goal. He'll score one and then go on a streak. He's a top striker, sought after the biggest European clubs, and who made the choice to stay at Inter because he wanted to grow his game. I follow him, even if at a distance. I give him my affection. In the penalty area, he is deadly. He can shoot well with his left and right foot. He's good with his head and with acrobatic efforts. Of course, now he's going through a period where nothing's going right, but he hasn't lost his qualities. There was one bit where he said, I don't know, I guess they didn't include that in the quote here, Sempre Inter, but he said, like, if you're criticizing Lautaro, you don't know football, which, as I said, a pretty strong statement. But yeah, we can agree on a lot of that, but we're not just criticizing him for the goals. That's the thing with Lautaro. I'm completely happy with Lautaro, even if he doesn't score. It's his overall game at the moment that we feel like he's lacking in as well. His link-up play as well. His creating chances for others as well. That's where my problem with Lautaro is. He can, we've seen teams like Liverpool. They're the perfect example. You saw Firmino. He came on the other day. Firmino has, as a striker, I know he's a false 9, but at the same time he plays as a forward for Liverpool, and his goal scoring record is awful, but what he adds to the team outside of the goals is vital to them. And even the other day against us, he came on and scored a goal. So it's not just about goals with Lautaro, but at the same time, yeah, I agree with Crespo in terms of people starting to almost treat Lautaro as if he's some sort of bum or like awful player. But once again, I don't want to get too much into the Lautaro. Every time we start talking about Lautaro, it starts to become a longer conversation. Oh my God, this guy is taking up rent-free space in our heads. Yes, Benjamin, time to finally get that Brozovic jersey. Make sure you get that. It's number 77, very unique. Very unique, very nice shirt to get, and one of my favorite players as well, Brozovic for sure. At this point, Brozo deserves 7 or 8, even 8 million after the last game. You can't play without him. Yeah, for sure. Is Gosens having a cameo in the Genoa match? Maybe. Apparently he might be on the bench. Maybe he'll get a few minutes just to like throw him on, but it also depends on the score line and how fit he actually is. Still remember when Icardi had his usual stinkers for a few months or so. Yeah, exactly. Should we wait to sell Lautaro after the World Cup? If it performs Argentina, we may get a higher price. I mean, but the problem is the World Cup comes at the middle of this next season, so it wouldn't be ideal, really. If you want to, it depends how he. As I said, he needs to now. For us to get our Scudetto, he needs to deliver and score some goals now, but also to stat pad to like get his numbers a bit up again, and then have that value back to the 70, 80 million that we were talking about. And let's see. It has to be the right offer. I'm not in favor of selling this guy for like 40, 50 million, because the striker, as we've discussed, the striker market in general, there's not much talent out there, and I don't want to undersell Lautaro just because he's going through like a bad moment right now. Lautaro Astina's remontada, Scudetto number 20, and then cash in. Yeah, that's probably more the vibe I'm thinking about. I was a bit scared after Sassuolo game, but after the Napoli draw, I'm calm. Second start is out for delivery. Nice. I hope it's not, one of those dodgy delivery companies like Yodel or DPD or them man there. I hope it's like, FedEx next day type thing. On a positive note, Aguma and Satriano are shining. Yeah, that is definitely another good news that we have seen in the last couple of days. I'm very happy to see them shining in Ligue 1, and maybe them coming back to our team next season. Let's see. Definitely Aguma, I would, I think he's definitely making a shout to be the vice Brozovic, because it's a position that we need. We've needed someone in that position for years now. Not even this season. It's been needed for years. RB comes in the house. What's up, brother? Benjamin Bolivar is here too, partnering with Uncle Sharma. Isn't Crespo a snake? Yeah, I mean, he went to Milan as well, but you can't deny the quality he had. Yeah, I think he'd fit in Arsenal. I think he would fit in Arsenal for sure. Lautaro. If Lautaro doesn't score at least in one of the next two matches, I think it's more about the performance for sure for me. But yeah, he needs to score at least against, and his last goal was against Salernitana, so it would be nice, like, Circle to finish his streak against Salernitana, maybe. A bit of Argentinian bias, yeah, maybe, for sure. But at the end of the day, you can't say that Crespo doesn't know ball. Like, he is a striker. If he's saying that he feels like he's a good striker of the ball, if he feels like he's got good finish, good heading, good technical ability, then I'm sure he knows more ball than me. A lot of it's down to match fitness as well. Yeah. He's we always talk about his he's played a lot of football, and his style of play is very intense as well. But those excuses now are kind of not really. I'm running out of those excuses for me. We'll see. Another thing about Agume. Let's see how he performs until the end of the season. Let's see what happens with Inter's midfield choices in the summer as well. Crespo stuffed the cap. Which Hendricks is not having it. He is not having it. Don't worry, bro. I'm tracking the second start package daily. Let's just scrub Genoa, Venezia, and Liverpool. Obviously, I think it's not Venezia. It's Salernitana actually. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, if you watched the other day, Bremer completely pocketing Vlahovic was very, very satisfying. He is the real deal. Anyway, a couple of other news I wanted to get into. Someone mentioned earlier the Suning had an offer and they declined it. We're coming up to the half an hour mark already. So apparently Suning turned down €900 million offer to sell Inter in the past few weeks. Apparently it was, again, this is not a great source. Tutto Sport is not a great source, but apparently an American company of an American fund or consortium totaled an offer around €900 million. And as we know, Steven and Suning value Inter at 1 billion. They won €1 billion. We know that they turned down the offer from BC Partners. Apparently the PIF, the British Investment Fund, is also turned down the offer from Inter. So apparently Inter are looking to sell Suning. They have 1 billion. They won €1 billion. We know that they turned down the offer from BC Partners. Apparently the PIF, rumors as well that were turned down. But let's see what happens with those. Those are resurfacing again, the PIF thing. Once again, I'm not going to talk about those things because I don't have these types of sources. I have people that I've been talking to who have been saying that PIF through Aramco, which is, the oil company that they are the fronting, they're going to try purchase Inter through them. But until I see, proper sources, I'm not gonna comment on those. But as I said, if you wanna progress, if you wanna stay as champions, even after the season, Steven needs to just take the L, or even not take the L. If he finds, someone that's willing to pay 1 billion his valuation, then, good for him. But I think he just needs to, even if he doesn't get the billion valuation, I think he needs to understand his situation and just kind of let it go, for the better of Inter, but also for him. There's no point for him holding out. And then if Inter start going downhill, the value will decrease and keep decreasing. And, maybe he could end up in another Banta era. So he needs to really make a decision soon on this. Shami should sign for Inter, replace Lautaro. I'm sure you won't miss that much chance today, man. I'm good at finishing, but it's on 5-a-side where you have to run 10 meters. If I have to run 50 meters, and I'm very slow. I'm very slow, and definitely I'm slower than Dzeko. So I don't think I can imagine you guys abusing me on the screen when I'm chasing down the ball. Inter's not selling Martinez, to stop dreaming. I don't know about that. Lord Figo. We saw, Inter's not. I think the only untouchables I always say, I think, are Bastoni and Barella. But even then, if there's stupid offers, they probably will sell. I don't think there's any not unsellable players in this team for sure. We shall see. And then actually, funnily enough, it's going back to the Brozovic, quickly showing you guys what the Inter situation is in terms of the current salaries at Inter. Brozovic will probably become Inter's highest earner, to be honest. Martinez isn't at the top of this because this is from Calcio e Finanza, which is a very good source when it comes to football finances in Italian. And of course, you can go on the website and translate in English. But at the moment, our highest paid players are Sanchez and Vidal. As we know, 6.5 million net for Vidal, 7 million for Sanchez, because it is what it is when you sign players from the Premier League. Sanchez was on crazy wages. This is actually Sanchez, when he cut his wages down considerably, half his wages to come to Inter. But at the same time, they benefit from the growth decree, which is what the star means, and Inter get money back in taxation because it's a certain percentage they get back. So actually, on gross wages, they're not the most expensive. As you can see, the gross wages, the most expensive are Perisic, Dzeko, Hakan, because they've been living in Italy for last few years, so they don't count in the growth decree benefits. But it will be a Lautaro, because this is in the mid-season they counted his wages from his last wages, which he was on around 2 million net, and now he's earning around 6. I think he's on 6 as well now after his new contract, Lautaro. So when you calculate the average, he's on around his cost to this Inter season is 4.1 million net. But Brozovic, who was on 3.5, he will now go right to the very top, and he will probably be even more. Yeah, he will be the highest. He will be the most expensive player for Inter because of his gross wages, but he won't be the highest net earner for Inter. But I think, after Vidal leaves, you'll see, I think, and then Perisic's contract will be discussed as well, around the same amount of money. And I think Barella's contract as well, his one is also calculated, I think, using his previous contract and his new contract. So these guys will rise up in the list. But yeah, you can see this list for yourself. Gosens, just because he's come halfway through the season, so his net wage will be 2.5 million, but because he's come in January, so it only technically cost Inter 1 million. And obviously Sensi Pinamonti away out on loan. But yeah, and then finally, they're talking about Handanovic getting a new contract. Another guy that's been, splitting a lot of opinion. Of course, he's no, actually, he's not splitting opinion at all. There's one opinion on Handanovic that he need a go. But Marotta yesterday or the other day said that they're looking to extend him as well. Him and Perisic, they will discuss a contract renewal for him. But it looks like it will be more as kind of, the guy to look after / mentor / be there if anything happens with Onana. If Onana doesn't have a good impact straight away, be that kind of guy that's there to help him. Yeah, of course, it doesn't sound nice when you hear Marotta saying that we're going to give Handanovic a new contract, but at the same time, I don't think it's so bad if Handanovic accepts it at like a lower term, and also accepts that he's not going to be number one as well, that he's not going to be the captain as well. I think it makes sense to have someone like that, mentoring Onana. I think that makes sense, as long as it won't be Handanovic being the number one. That is my number one stipulation, please. We can't have another season of Handanovic as the starter again. Right, guys, I'm finishing off now. Your last few comments, I'm already gone over. I'm going to have to rush to get ready for my football. Brother deserves it, 100%. Mattia, Alexis and Vidal are leaving at the end of the season. Vidal is. Alexis, he still has a year of contract, but we'll see. We'll see, because he earns so much. I don't know. Maybe he needs to agree to a new deal where he halves his wages, so he spreads the 7 million over 2 years. Or, yeah, we shall see what happens. Hope Alexis said Vidal could go. Yeah, Vidal is going anyway. Brad the lad, what's up? He subscribed a week ago. Thank you very much, Brad. Perisic needs his contract too. Yeah, I think he will get his contract. Thank you, Brad. They are talking about 2 extension for Perisic. Yeah, perfect. That'll be perfect. 33 takes him up to 35. Cuadrado actually the other day got an extension for Juventus, and he's 33, 34 as well, and he got a 2-year extension of around 5 million. So it makes sense that Perisic also gets that makes sense. The importance of Cuadrado to Juventus is pretty much the same as Perisic to Inter. What comes first, World War III or Lautaro's goal and to make a save? I think World War III comes first. Perisic should also be top priority. I think he is. Go snap some ankle trauma or will. Oh, no, I'm not that type of player. I'm not that physical type of player, guys. I am. I like to be, technical. I don't get stuck in. But I'm not that type of guy. Always a pleasure, Mattia. Thank you for coming through. Radu is probably going to leave at the end of the season. Yeah. Handanovic is good for the locker room. Deserves a new contract. Stuck with us through the banter era and could have gone to Madrid. Not sure about that Madrid rumor, but yeah, definitely he does deserve a contract. Yes, nutmegs, that's definitely a thing. When I'm nutmeg someone, is basically like scoring a goal to me. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Already gone over my half an hour as usual. No, I cannot do a rainbow flick. Sham is the luxury prayer. King Arturo will be disappointed. Yeah, that'd be nice. Arturo would do the dirty work for me. You like playing with me. I just, I'm the water carrier. I'm the the Busquets. I'm the Thiago Motta. Yeah, but yeah, I am a luxury player. Yeah, can do a flip flap. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Beppe Marotta is here to stay. Ausilio is here to stay. Baccin is here to stay. Brozzo is here to stay. Ciao ragazzi, Forza Inter.